Greetings and salutations. My name is Captain Klesnik, and this is going to be a series recording a playthrough that I will be doing of Enigmatica 9. I'm very much looking forward to trying this series out. I've only been playing Minecraft for a few years, about 2 years now, but the first mod pack that really got me excited about modded Minecraft was Enigmatica 6. This was a wonderful mod pack that had a diverse collection of different mods with recipes that were intertwined that forced you to really delve into most of them to progress through all of them. So you could pretty much start with any one of the mods that you would like, but indubitably you would wind up with a recipe that required you to delve a little bit in something else. Until that point, I always limited myself to building with the mods that I was familiar with because I was afraid to tackle any of the other ones. But because this forced me to try the other ones, I learned them and loved tying them together, which allowed me to start thinking about machines that would allow me to combine the different mods together to get tasks done, which I very much enjoyed. Enigmatica 8 has come out since then. I didn't play that too much because that seemed like a big kitchen sink sort of mod pack, but according to the description of this one, it's going to attempt to use fewer mods, but intertwine the recipes more so. And that sounded very exciting to me. So I'm going to give this a try. Before I get started, I'll mention that I play Minecraft perhaps a little different than most people do, and I'll explain how. First of all, I like playing on a private server rather than a solo game. This has a couple of advantages. One, it allows friends or family to pop in and join me in my world to see what I'm building or perhaps help with an adventure or something like that. In addition, I no longer have to worry about setting up an AFK spot because as long as the server is running, when I log out of the game, if I have an area chunk loaded, that chunk will continue to play and continue to collect resources or process materials or whatever I have set up to keep going when I'm not in the game. So this is my configuration file for the server that I set up. I made a few little changes to the default. First of all, this is the seed that I'm going to be using. Captain K plays E9. So if you want to create a world just like my own, all you have to do is just put in this seed. I did set the allow flight to true because I like being able to fly with the mods that add that feature. And I set the difficulty to normal. The default for the server file is easy. And finally, I set the message of the day here, which is using a couple of cryptic codes that allow me to change the color of the message that appears when you connect to my server. And you'll see when I try connecting to it, it'll say Captain K's Enigmatica 9 server version 1.5.0 in a couple of different colors. Now, so in addition to playing on a private server, I sometimes will add a few mods to a mod pack if I think it will add to my enjoyment of it without changing the gameplay too much. First of all, I do like using shaders. I don't like the ones that make the world look really gorgeous because I find it too distracting from the core gameplay and the essence of the feel of playing Minecraft. But there are a number out there that sort of find a balance. One of them is called Complementary Reimagined. So I'm going to be playing through this mod pack with this shader pack installed. There are instructions on how to do that. To get them to run inside the client, you need to have Oculus and Rubidium, both for version 1.19.2 because that's what this mod pack uses. And in addition, you'll notice there's a few other mods that I decided to add. The first of which is Pocket Storage. I noticed that the mod pack has a number of Direwolf 20 tools, including his building gadgets. Building gadgets is a tool that can work very well with pocket storage. I don't know if you folks have ever seen this mod. What it does is it gives you a one-slot item that can hold a small number of items in it, but can contain up to tens of thousands of those few items in there. For example, if you're mining around, it can put cobblestone in there, or stone, or netherrack, or other sorts of things that can clutter up your bags. It allows you to keep thousands of them in there, which the building gadget will automatically be able to make use when you're building your structures. And in addition, if the slot that is containing that item becomes full, it will void any more that gets dropped in there. So if you have, let's say, room for 8,000 pieces of netherrack, it'll fill that slot up, and then if you get more, it'll just void it and prevent it from cluttering your bags. So I find that really quite nice. I'm also adding Botania because this is a favorite mod of mine. I know that Ars Nouveau is in this pack, and a lot of the functionality of Botania is already in there. So I'll probably stick with Ars Nouveau first. But at some point, because I love this mod so much, I'll probably spend a little time in Botania for two reasons. One, there are a few trinkets that are really nice. Like there's a belt that allows you to run faster and jump higher, which is quite nice. There's another trinket that you can be able to wear that makes explosions from creepers damage you, but not damage the ground and structures that you're building around you. I really hate it when creepers do that. Finally, I'm installing the core tools that are available in Integrated Dynamics. Now, there have been many mods that have been designed to work with Integrated Dynamics, which will create networks, storage, automatic crafting, and all sorts of other useful sorts of things. A lot of that function's already in the pack, so I didn't want to install them. But Integrated Dynamics itself can really let you delve down deep into a mod and see what's happening behind the scenes in a way that I often enjoy. I don't know if I'm going to be using it in this particular playthrough, but I like to have it ready in case I feel like it. Now, Integrated Dynamics has two other mods that it needs to work with it. One is Cyclops Core, and the other is Common Capabilities. And there is one additional mod which is called Integrated NBT, which is just a tool that makes it easier to extract variables from NBT trees. And that's it. Now I'll go start my server and start my clients and enter the world for the first time. And we are done. So let's head into the world and see what it looks like. And there it is. Here's hoping we have a nice starting area. And here we are in the world. All right, looks like we started off in a desert. And I see that there's a command to keep dynamics lights going for Ars Nouveau, which I happen to like, so I'll turn that on. I got a book for Integrated Dynamics, which I'm going to ignore for now. And as usual, Enigmatica has a series of quests to welcome you to the world. Oh, that's nice to give me some food. But I'm going to not pay attention to this right now. I'm going to first get myself someplace safe. But as long as I'm here in the desert, I will grab a few things. And as I'm looking for a place to get safe, if I see something that I want, I'll grab it. So for example, a little bit of cactus is useful. So I'll take that with me. And where do I want to go? I see they have crude oil. That's for Enigmatica, which is a really fun mod, so I look forward to using that. I think I'm going to start by heading south because I generally like to set up in a plains area because there's less work involved in clearing a space to start building some structures. Alright, there is a savanna which does have acacia wood, which is one of the woods that I sometimes like using for my builds. So I think I'll try to head for that. All right. Let's start the series with punching some wood. What I'm really hoping to get is a sapling so that I can take this wood with me. Is there any vein mining? No, it doesn't seem to be working. That's okay. Have to mine these one at a time. That's okay. There are plenty of mods that will allow me to mine, or excuse me, chop down large portions of wood all at once. And it looks like there's some fast leaf decay, which is nice. Any saplings? Oh, good, we got 2. All right. I generally like to replant the saplings that I have harvested. That should be enough. Make a crafting table to begin with. And what we'll do is just make a few basic tools to start off with. So, an axe for chopping down more wood, and a wooden pickaxe. That seems pretty good. Now I have to figure out if I can get through here. I guess I can make a shovel. Dig up a little bit of dirt. That's an interesting looking structure up there in the sky. Something to explore in the future. Some sheep. But I'm not going to kill them. I'm hoping that I'll be able to find a village where I can snag a bed in the future. Yeah, that's pretty impressive looking. Oh, some sort of bush is snagging me. What kind of trees are these? Blossom logs. I don't think I need that right now. What kind of wood do we have here? It's an oak log, but that's going to be very difficult to chop down. And I'd like to find someplace safe. Oh, I think I see a village to the east of me. All right, I'm going to go there, but I'll see if I can quickly chop down. Is this more acacia? It is. So I'll just keep going. Yeah, that looks like a fun place to explore. One of the many creatures from Ars Nouveau. Hello there. It's a whirly sprig. Oops. East. All right, here's hoping I can get down without damaging myself too much. Is this an oak tree? Let's see if I can get an oak sapling. Excellent. Got 2. Plant 1. And let's keep moving. Looks like the sun's starting to go down. Well, here's hoping that I can find some food and a place to sleep for the night. Sure, I'll take a cocoa bean. Might even take 2. A little flooded. Melon could be useful. Oh, there we go. I'll take some bread. Take most of the things from here, in fact. And an emerald. That's nice. No bed yet. Oh, 2 beds. Mind if I stay here for the night? Okay. In fact, if there's 2 beds here, jungle sapling, potatoes. Excellent. That's a favorite food to start off with. So I will take that. Starting to get a kind of full inventory already. Let's see if we can find a few more items that are useful before we head on our way. Oh, can't open that. So I clear the space on top. Oh, opportunity to grab a few books. Oh, I'll have a cookie. I should probably eat something too. So... Hello there. Onions and strawberries. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. What else can we find before we go and try to set off to find a home for ourselves? I'll take it. Alright, that was a very good place to discover early. And let's take a look at the map and see what we have around here. So there's some nice looking plains on the west side of this body of water. And there's amaranth fields and more plains. Crag Gardens just to the north here. Really, any one of these could be fine. I don't know if I want to be in the amaranth fields because they tend to be full of lots of flowers, but those plains could be nice. I want to do a little bit more exploring. Feeling a lot safer now that I have a bed and a supply of food. So... Yes, I was taking a risk and not killing food and collecting it. I mean, like killing animals that I passed along the way. But I always like trying to see whether I can survive without needlessly killing animals. And Ars Nouveau allows me to like later collect meat without having to kill them at all. So whenever possible, I try to avoid killing passive animals unless I absolutely need to. It's just the way I play. Hello there. Salt blocks. Okay. What do we have here? Anything useful? More bread. Another book. I think I saw someone outside. Hello there. Oh. Oh, this is the Gatekeeper, which is for blue skies. I've heard about this. This is a mod that adds a few dimensions. I'll come back for that later. Is there a way I can mark this on my map? Add waypoint. Blue skies. Gatekeeper. If only I can type. Well, looks like Applied Energistics is in this pack. We got lots of choices here. I think I'm going to head east. Yeah, this is pretty nice. It might be nicer to be a little bit closer to a village so that if I want to snag a few villagers and set up a breeding chamber for them, that would be useful. Wait a second, there might be another village down over there. Let me just take a look. Location of a meteorite, which will be great when I want to set up a ME storage system with Applied Energistics. I'll be back. I'm only disappointed that I haven't found any birch yet, because I like birch as well in my builds. This looks like it could be a very nice spot. Close to water. Where was that village? Village is to the south. I just want to check that out. Yep, there's a village right there. And I recognize those Zeppelin structures. Those have some components for Redstone's machines that you can loot, but there's a number of mob spawners in there. So I'll probably stay away from that until I feel strong. A little safer to go up there. Yeah, I think this will do. Okay, I think it's time to start building a home. So I always like building my first home within a chunk to start off with. So I'll do F3G to see where the chunk boundaries are here. And decide where I want to build this one. This might be a nice spot right here, actually. A little bit elevated. I do like being able to see the sunrise, so maybe I'll move a little bit further north so I can get beyond. Well, I can watch the sunset from my house a little better from over here. Yeah. Yeah, I think I like this. All right. All right. So, my first house, I always try to keep it about 1 block away from the boundary of a chunk. So that way I know that if I go a little bit outside, it'll still be within the chunk, so I can chunk load this area. So I'll build it up from like right here. Oops. I'll do a little terraforming, make a flatter platform on which to build my house. That'll do. Definitely going to need a lot more wood for this first house, so I'll just start planting some. With the saplings that I discovered on the way here. Let that grow. Don't have the ability to bucket any water yet, but okay. I think at this point I'll mark this point on the map. My first home. And I think I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I need more trees to grow anyways, to go and see if I can find some birch. Because I do like the lighter color of the wood. So where do I want to explore? There's a forest to the east of us. I think I'm just going to make a quick run over there. Actually, I can probably make a chest or two and empty out my bags. So why don't I do that real fast? Use up the rest of my acacia. And I can get at least 2 chests. Perhaps should have thought of that before I was building the rest of the structure, but it's all good. Alright. Much better. I think I'll take a little bit of wood that I have, sticks that I have, and I have bread, which is fine, but I might take some of the honey glazed ham as well. Alright, I'll be back. Oh, as long as I'm at it, by the way, I will claim some of these blocks as my own. Looks like mine is sort of over the northwest corner. I'm just going to set this area to chunk load as well, so that way the trees will continue growing even though I'm not there. Okay. I see some birch. Cool. some more oak has grown. Now this is the reason that I like having birch. I think the light wood has a nice contrast to the darker color of oak. So probably use the birch for my floors and the oak for the walls. Well, it's been a while, but I'm very pleased to say that my first starter home is finished for now, at least as far as I want to take it at this point. Obviously I can keep on developing this as time goes on, but let me give you a little tour of what I've worked on for the last hour or so. So first of all, I know it's kind of a little blocky, but I still like having a home that still feels comfortable, warm, happy place for me to return to. And as people will tell as the series goes on, I'm not really the best builder. And besides, this is Minecraft. If we can't embrace the blockiness, perhaps this is a problem. Anyways, I've made this area 2 stories. So this is the main area on the first floor. I've managed to set up 2 furnaces. This is going to be where all the precious ores that get processed are going to wind up over time. I've set up a number of chests. So this first one was sort of building materials and raw ores as I was collecting them. This one was saplings, trees, and food stuff. This one is pretty much wood-related things. This is monster drops. And over here next to my bed, I have some of the more precious items that I found, including my redstone, my lapis, my emeralds that I found in the village. At this point I have 12 of them, and a few enchanted books. I also did steal a jukebox from the village while I was there. And upstairs I haven't done too much yet, but... Oh, hello there. I guess you like it up here. Anything I really want? No, I don't think so. Just set up a space that's comfortable, and I wanted some sort of a roof to prevent rain from coming in, because at one point we had a nice thunderstorm, and there was a pool of water that was forming over here in the corner, and I wanted to stop that from happening. So, outside, I've started a basic farm going. At this point I have potatoes, I have carrots, I have some beets, and some wheat that are all growing. I have a number of trees of birch and oak around here still. I'll clear them out at some point, because I think what I'm going to do very soon is start building into the Create mod. Create will allow me to make a proper tree farm that will allow me to have an infinite supply of wood, apples, and most importantly charcoal. Charcoal is quite useful for furnaces and really lots of mods in the pack. Ars Nouveau, you can use it as a source for making mana, which of course can drive all of your enchantments and everything in there in that pack actually. So, anything else I want to show? Oh yeah, over here, because I don't like having a way for my monsters from getting into my house, I started building a tunnel down here with a door to prevent monsters that are chasing me from coming in after me if I need to escape somewhere. Pretty much, I've only gotten to about level 45. I was picking up some ores on the way as I went along. And down here is where I found a series of tunnels, actually. So I'll go exploring these soon enough, but I didn't quite feel ready to deal with monsters. So I just lit up the area here immediately and left it for later. At this point, I only had a few pieces of iron ore and very little coal. What I've been using to get the charcoal that I was making these torches from is I was burning logs and the wooden tools that I had to begin with. to give me the charcoal that allowed me to start lighting up the area. And I think at this point, this seems like a good enough place to stop. So I hope you enjoyed this first episode, and I hope you'll join me in my world in the episodes to follow. Take care.